Magnesium, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2 are everywhere. Doctors recommend them. Health influencers swear by them. And supplement companies, they've turned them into billion-dollar bestsellers. Most seniors think taking these vitamins is automatically safe, but that's only half the story. What 99% of seniors don't know is that taking them together, without knowing what you're doing, could be spiking your calcium in the wrong tissues, triggering dangerous drops in blood pressure, damaging your kidneys, and even strokes in just days. In this video, we're revealing the 8 most dangerous effects that can happen when you take magnesium, vitamin D3, and K2 the wrong way, ranked from least to most life-threatening. And the number 4 hidden effect on this list. It's been linked to a 34% spike in stroke risk, just 60 days after starting the wrong combination. But before we jump in, quick question. From where are you watching us? Drop your country or city in the comments. We're reading and replying to every single comment. Now let's get started with effect number 10. And trust me, it may sound mild, but it's where the real trouble begins that most doctors never mention. Number 10. Electrolyte imbalance that disrupts nerves and muscles. When magnesium is taken in isolation or in a high dose without the right balance of calcium, potassium, and sodium, your entire electrolyte system can go off track in just a few days. This causes your nerves to misfire and your muscles to contract irregularly. You might notice twitching eyelids, restless legs at night, or a general sense of jitteriness that doesn't make sense, especially if you thought magnesium was supposed to calm you. But the truth is, magnesium only works correctly when it's in balance with the other minerals that control your body's electrical signals. In a 2020 study published in the Journal of Clinical Medicine, researchers tracked adults taking high-dose magnesium without proper dietary balance. Within 72 hours, over 39% developed mild to moderate symptoms of nerve excitability, including tremors, tension, irregular heartbeats, and sleep disruption. These weren't seniors with existing health problems. They were healthy adults, and when potassium or calcium levels were low, the symptoms were worse. It turns out that magnesium can push potassium levels down when not taken with enough whole food electrolytes. That's why some people feel more anxious or wired after taking it, not less. To avoid this, magnesium should never be taken blindly. Seniors especially need to monitor sodium intake, stay hydrated with mineral-rich fluids, and get potassium through food, like avocados or cooked spinach, before loading up on magnesium supplements. If your nerves feel edgy or your sleep gets worse after starting magnesium, it's not in your head. It's an imbalance, and your body is trying to tell you. Number 9. Sudden drops in blood pressure that leave you dizzy and weak. Magnesium is often praised for its ability to relax blood vessels and lower blood pressure. But when taken without proper guidance, especially alongside vitamin D3, it can lower your blood pressure too much, too fast. This isn't rare. Seniors already prone to low pressure or those on medications for hypertension are most at risk. They start taking magnesium and suddenly feel lightheaded, foggy, or weak, especially when standing up. What feels like fatigue might actually be a blood pressure crash happening in real time. In a 2019 study published in Hypertension Research, researchers observed that adults who took 400 milligrams of magnesium citrate daily saw an average blood pressure drop of 11 points within just 48 hours. While that may sound like a good thing, 1 in 4 participants experienced dizziness, nausea, and faintness when standing, classic signs of orthostatic hypotension. And when magnesium was paired with high-dosed vitamin D3, the drop was more severe. That's because D3 increases calcium absorption, and calcium shifts impact vascular tone. Combined with magnesium's relaxing effects, the result is a double hit to blood pressure. For seniors who are already on ACE inhibitors, beta blockers, or diuretics, this can become dangerous fast. Add in dehydration or missing a meal, and the blood pressure can fall hard enough to cause a fall, or worse, a blackout. What starts as a good intention to improve heart health can spiral into unexpected weakness, mental confusion, or hospital visits. A dizzy spell may seem minor, but for seniors, it could be the first sign of something more dangerous waiting around the corner. Number 8. Diarrhea and nutrient malabsorption that worsens inflammation. One of the most common and fastest side effects of magnesium, especially in forms like magnesium oxide or citrate, is diarrhea. And while that might seem harmless, it becomes dangerous quickly for seniors. Diarrhea strips your body of water, electrolytes, and key nutrients like potassium and sodium. And in older adults with slower digestion or weaker kidneys, it sets off a chain reaction that increases inflammation, weakens muscle function, and disrupts collagen repair in the joints. What looks like a temporary issue can quietly damage your system day after day. In a 2022 report from Digestive Diseases and Sciences, researchers found that among adults over 60 who took over 350 milligrams of magnesium per day, nearly 44% developed mild to moderate diarrhea within 5 days. But here's what was even more troubling. That same group showed lower levels of zinc, sodium, and vitamin B12 by the end of the trial. When stool moves too quickly through the intestines, it reduces your body's ability to absorb essential nutrients. Over time, that weakens your immune response, slows healing, and increases your risk of leg cramps, fatigue, and painful swelling in the lower joints. The problem becomes worse when magnesium is taken in large single doses or without food. Seniors often don't realize they're depleting themselves further with every trip to the bathroom. If you're taking magnesium and noticing looser stools, even if it's just once a day, that's your body losing key support without your permission. And it's only a matter of time before that shows up as low energy, swollen feet, or frequent night cramps that you can't explain. Number 7. Heart palpitations and irregular rhythms from misbalanced intake. It's one of the scariest symptoms a senior can feel, that sudden flutter in your chest, a skipped beat, or a racing heart out of nowhere. And what most people don't realize is that taking magnesium, D3 or K2 in the wrong combination, can actually trigger or worsen these palpitations. The heart runs on electrical signals powered by minerals, and if you flood your system with one without balancing the others, those signals start to misfire. What feels like anxiety or excitement could actually be your heart struggling to keep rhythm. A 2021 study in clinical cardiology monitored older adults using magnesium supplements daily. They found that 15% of users experienced new-onset palpitations, especially those with low potassium or who were already on heart medications. When D3 was added at doses over 2,000 international units per day, the risk climbed to 22%. That's because D3 increases calcium absorption, and calcium directly affects heart contractions. Add magnesium's effect on vessel relaxation and electrolyte shifts, and your heart ends up in a tug-of-war between too much stimulation and not enough control. What's worse is that many seniors think these symptoms are caused by stress or caffeine. But when they look at their supplement cabinet, they're taking a stack of products that overstimulate their heart without realizing it. This includes multivitamins, sleep aids with magnesium, calcium D3 combos, and even magnesium drinks marketed as relaxing. The heart doesn't relax when its minerals are out of sync. It races, flutters, and stumbles. The safest approach is to introduce magnesium and D3 gradually, under supervision, and to monitor your response carefully. If your heart starts skipping, fluttering, or beating too hard after supplements, that's not something to push through. That's a signal. And ignoring it could lead to atrial fibrillation, chest pain, or worse. Your heart is electric, and without balanced minerals, even healthy supplements can start short-circuiting the system. Number 6. Constipation and calcium misplacement from taking D3 without K2. Vitamin D3 helps your body absorb calcium. That sounds good, until you realize that without vitamin K2, that calcium doesn't always go where it should. Instead of strengthening your bones, it can start building up in soft tissues like your arteries and kidneys, And when that happens, one of the first signs is often constipation that appears out of nowhere. That's because excess calcium can slow bowel motility, stiffen the digestive tract, and reduce water flow into the colon, all of which make stools dry, hard, and painful to pass. In a 2020 clinical trial published in Bone Reports, adults who took D3 supplements without K2 for 6 weeks showed a marked rise in vascular calcification markers. Even though their bone density didn't improve significantly, their calcium levels in soft tissues increased by over 21%, and a third of participants reported new-onset digestive sluggishness. For seniors, this isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. Constipation can lead to bloating, trap toxins, hemorrhoids, and even intestinal blockages if ignored. K2's role is to activate proteins that shuttle calcium into bones and teeth while keeping it out of arteries and organs. Without K2, D3 acts like an overactive traffic director with no map. And the fallout lands in your circulation, your kidneys, and your digestive system. Seniors with slower metabolism, low fluid intake, or weak kidney function are especially vulnerable to this imbalance. If you've started D3 and noticed your gut slowing down, your body is trying to flag a problem. To protect yourself, always pair vitamin D3 with K2, ideally in the MK7 form, which stays active longer. If you're already constipated, stop D3 for a few days and increase your water, magnesium, and K2 intake to reset your calcium metabolism. This isn't just about bowel movements. It's about stopping calcium from quietly choking your internal organs, because once the buildup starts, it's not easy to undo. Number 5. Kidney strain and silent damage from high-dose D3. Your kidneys do more than filter toxins. They regulate minerals, balance fluids, and keep calcium under control. But when you take high doses of vitamin D3 without medical guidance, especially in combination with magnesium and calcium-rich foods, your kidneys can become overloaded fast. D3 ramps up calcium absorption from your intestines, sometimes to the point where your kidneys can't clear the excess. That leads to a condition called hypercalciuria, or too much calcium in your urine. It sounds harmless, but over time, it causes silent damage that builds toward kidney stones, or worse, long-term kidney dysfunction. In a 2018 study from Kidney International Reports, older adults who supplemented with more than 4,000 international units of vitamin D3 daily for just 4 weeks showed a 33% increase in urinary calcium levels. And while not everyone developed symptoms immediately, several participants experienced early kidney stress markers, subtle but dangerous. These included changes in creatinine levels, myeloprotein in the urine, and reduced filtration rates. Most of them had no idea anything was wrong until lab tests revealed it. Seniors are especially vulnerable because kidney function naturally declines with age. Adding high-dose D3 on top of that, even with good intentions, creates the perfect storm. The symptoms often appear slowly, like lower back discomfort, fatigue, or difficulty concentrating. And by the time a kidney stone forms or function noticeably drops, the damage has already taken hold. What started as a bone health boost becomes a silent kidney attack. But before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more videos like this. Number 4. Calcium buildup in arteries that increases heart attack risk. Vitamin D3 plays a vital role in helping your intestines absorb calcium. But without vitamin K2 guiding that calcium to the right place, your bones, it can end up lining the walls of your arteries instead. That's not just a theory. That's vascular calcification, and it's been directly linked to increased heart attack and stroke risk in older adults. When you take D3 alone, especially in high doses, you increase your blood calcium levels. But if that calcium doesn't have a destination, it settles in your arteries like cement. And once hardened plaque forms, it's nearly impossible to reverse. In a 2019 study published in Arteriosclerosis, Thrombosis and Vascular Biology, Researchers analyzed seniors supplementing with vitamin D3 who were not taking K2. Within 60 days, over 40% showed measurable increases in arterial stiffness. CT scans revealed more calcium deposits in the coronary arteries, and those with existing cardiovascular conditions saw the most dramatic changes. This wasn't over years. It happened in just weeks. That's how fast misplaced calcium can damage your heart. The scary part is that many seniors feel fine while this is happening. There's no pain, no warning, no obvious sign, until they suddenly experience shortness of breath, pressure in the chest, or an abnormal stress test. And for those already on statins or blood pressure medications, the risk multiplies. When calcium builds up in arteries, it narrows the space for blood to flow and reduces oxygen delivery to the heart muscle. That turns a silent buildup into a sudden emergency. To protect your heart, always pair D3 with K2. K2 activates a protein called MGP, matrix glycoprotein, which literally scrapes excess calcium from arteries and helps deposit it into bone. Without it, D3 becomes a loaded gun with no safety switch. If you're taking D3 for your bones but skipping K2, you may be strengthening one system while quietly destroying another. Your heart can't afford that gamble. Not now. Not ever. Number 3. Muscle weakness that gets worse with every dose. Most people take magnesium to relax their muscles and ease tension. But if your body isn't balanced, magnesium can do the opposite. Instead of improving strength, it can cause muscle fatigue, heaviness, and even trembling, especially when taken in high doses or combined with vitamin D3 without enough supporting minerals. Magnesium acts as a natural muscle relaxer, but when it disrupts the delicate balance of calcium and potassium, it can leave your muscles too weak to contract properly. The result is a strange sensation of tiredness in your arms and legs that seems to grow worse every day. A 2020 study in Frontiers in Physiology tracked older adults supplementing with magnesium for sleep and pain relief. After just 2 weeks, 28% reported new symptoms of muscle weakness, particularly in the lower limbs. Blood work showed a drop in serum potassium and an uptick in magnesium levels, creating an imbalance that confused the muscle signaling pathways. The nerves were firing, but the muscles didn't have the right mineral support to respond. This kind of disruption doesn't just affect energy. It can impact gait, balance, and reaction time, increasing the risk of falls. Adding vitamin D3 to the mix complicates the picture. T3 encourages calcium absorption, which, if not balanced by magnesium and K2, can create a flood of calcium into muscle tissue. That leads to cramping, slow movement, and even the sensation of heavy legs. Seniors often chalk it up to aging, but in many cases, it's actually the supplement stack pulling the strings. To prevent this, mineral testing is key. Don't take magnesium on autopilot. Choose balanced formulas that include potassium and avoid stacking multiple supplements that affect muscle control. And if your muscles feel weaker since starting a new vitamin, stop and reassess. Your body might not be failing. It might just be overdosed on something it didn't ask for. Ignoring that weakness is a dangerous mistake that leads straight to loss of mobility and independence. Number 2. Sudden drop in appetite and nutrient cravings that signal a hidden deficiency. One of the most overlooked consequences of combining magnesium, vitamin D3, and K2 incorrectly is how they can suppress your natural hunger signals without giving your body what it actually needs. Seniors who suddenly lose their appetite, skip meals, or feel indifferent toward food after starting these supplements may think they're being healthy. But often, it's a warning sign. These nutrients can interfere with hormones that regulate appetite like leptin and ghrelin, and they may even cause shifts in digestive enzymes that make you crave fewer calories while absorbing fewer nutrients. A 2022 study in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry followed adults over 60 who took a combined D3K2 supplement with magnesium over 30 days. Within the first 2 weeks, 31% reported reduced hunger and lower food intake, even though their energy needs remained the same. The researchers found that the combination had altered gut hormone levels, slowing gastric emptying and dulling taste perception. The unintended result was unintentional undereating, leading to protein loss, electrolyte imbalance, and even mild anemia in several cases. The seniors didn't feel sick. They just didn't feel hungry. And that's what made it dangerous. This appetite suppression might sound helpful for someone trying to lose weight, but for seniors, it's a serious red flag. Your body needs a regular intake of calories, protein, and micronutrients to support joint health, muscle repair, brain function, and immunity. The consistent drop in appetite leads to sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, which puts you at higher risk of falls, weakness, and fractures. If your appetite dropped after starting a new supplement stack, especially one containing D3, magnesium, or K2, pay attention. Monitor your meals, track your energy, and look at the big picture. These nutrients aren't bad, but taken in the wrong way, they can trick your body into starving quietly, and by the time symptoms show, reversing the damage takes far longer than most seniors can afford to wait. Number 1. Increased risk of stroke from misguided calcium buildup. This is the one almost no one talks about, but it's the most dangerous. When you take vitamin D3 without enough vitamin K2, your body starts absorbing more calcium than it can handle. And if that calcium isn't guided into your bones, it deposits into your arteries, heart valves, and even soft brain tissues. What starts as an attempt to support bone health becomes a direct path to vascular calcification. Over time, this buildup narrows the arteries that supply blood to the brain, increasing your risk of stroke, especially ischemic stroke, the kind caused by clots or blockages. The terrifying part is that it can begin happening silently within just weeks. In a 2021 population study published in Stroke, researchers reviewed more than 45,000 older adults and found that those taking vitamin D3 in high doses without concurrent K2 had a 34% increased risk of stroke within the first 60 days of supplementation. This wasn't a long-term, slow-risk issue. The scans showed early signs of arterial narrowing, calcium spikes in blood tests, and symptoms like blurred vision, vertigo, and one-sided weakness in those most affected. And many of them had no history of cardiovascular disease before starting their supplement routine. When magnesium enters the mix, the problem accelerates. Magnesium relaxes the blood vessels, which can drop blood pressure, but it also competes with calcium for absorption. That means calcium gets redirected, and without K2 controlling its destination, it ends up where it doesn't belong, like the carotid arteries feeding your brain. If you're taking all three of these nutrients at once without medical oversight or blood testing, you may be unknowingly increasing your stroke risk every single day. The solution isn't to fear these vitamins, it's to respect their power. Always take D3 with K2, monitor your calcium intake, and never exceed 2,000 international units of D3 daily without knowing your current levels. If you felt dizzier lately, if your vision flickers or your speech slurs briefly, do not brush it off. These could be early warnings. Your body doesn't send those signals for no reason. And if your arteries are stiffening from calcification, a silent stroke could be right behind it. What you think is helping your health might be hijacking your brain. And unless you're careful, it won't warn you before it's too late. So now you know. Magnesium, D3, and K2 aren't always safe. Taken the wrong way, they can disrupt your nerves, damage your kidneys, weaken your muscles, and even raise your risk of stroke in just weeks. Supplements are powerful tools, but only if you know how to use them. Don't guess. Don't copy what others are doing. Your health deserves precision. Which of these 10 side effects shocked you the most? Drop it in the comments. We are reading and replying to everyone. And if you want real science-backed health advice made for seniors, subscribe now and turn on notifications, because your body isn't slowing down, and neither are we. Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. Thanks for watching.